Hi guys. So as we come up towards the end of this project, I'm really excited that we get the opportunity to share our project through a verbal presentation and making a video. Um, I think it's going to be really cool to hear each other's projects and their ideas and their experiences as if we were sitting in a face-to-face classroom. So I think this idea is really great, and I think it's going to be really cool to hear all of your stories and your projects. Um, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about my problem of practice and how I came to decide that this is what I wanted to do for my design thinking project. Um, I'm going to share on reasons why I think the solution that I came up well, actually, the solution uh, that we came up with, because a lot of the ideas that I took were from ideas that I got from the Kaggle. So I really appreciate all the feedback that everybody's given me. Um, I'm going to be sharing why I think the solution is transformative and why I think it'll make a difference. I'm going to cover some of the uh, resources, the data that I've collected from my resources and the research that I did, and some of the points and concepts that I thought really spoke to my problem of practice. And then I'm going to actually show you my wiki space, the wiki space that I created uh, as part of my experiment, and kind of walk you through that and show how I would try and make this come to life. And so a little bit about how I came to my decision for my problem practice. My problem that I've decided to cover is collaboration in the online learning environment. And over the duration of the Master's in Educational Technology program, I really grew interested and passionate and enthusiastic about the field of online learning. Almost all of my courses knew how to make an untraditional style of learning into an engaging and successful experience for me. And being that our program is thoroughly online, uh, it, the whole field really just interests me, and I'm really excited to see where online learning will go, and the improvements that it'll make and the changes that it'll make to how people access education. Um, so a little bit about my background. I've decided to make a slight change in my career. I was a music teacher for the past 5 years. I taught high school uh, students. I was the director of the marching and concert band. I directed the chorus, and I also taught an introductory to guitar class. And I really enjoyed working and doing what I did. But for various reasons, I decided to kind of shift my direction a little bit. And right now, I'm working in a school of online learning for a local university. I'm not teaching right now, but I am supporting faculty uh, in their teaching online. They're all online faculty, and I help them with technology and supporting them, showing them how technology can be used, what can be used for, and how it can enhance their delivery of content. And it's really been a great experience, and I hope that um, I work my way up, and really it's just been a really great experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this path leads me. Uh, so, one of the biggest challenges I've noticed and researched about is how can collaborative online learning be successful. Collaborative skills are necessary for 21st century learners, as we've learned, and it's important for them to master that skill. And developing collaboration in an online environment, I think, tends to be a little bit more challenging than it were to be face to face. a lot of our learning is asynchronous, which means that we're all accessing the course at different times of the day. Sometimes we may be accessing the course at the same time, but more likely than not, we're all accessing at different points. So uh, it becomes challenging, I think is a good word, to facilitate online collaboration and really make it uh, effective in um, its delivery and how it can really transform a student's learning and how it can be used in an online environment. So I think it's just rethinking our idea about how students interact online and what kind of tools are out there to really uh, take advantage of the fact that we are not sitting together in a room, but what's available out there and how can we contribute uh, through distance. Um, so some of the solutions in the Kaggle has been great, and I really enjoyed all of the reading all of the suggestions and some of the things that stuck out to me. One of the things that stuck out to me was develop an activity that includes an expert in the field uh, for the content in which the students are involved in. I thought this was a really great idea. I believe Lori was the one that suggested the idea to me. Um, I think including an expert in the field is an excellent idea. Uh, it really, I think, would enhance and engage the learners into the activity and bring in authenticity to the project, making it relatable and realistic, which really makes, I think, part of this solution transformative. Um, Having the students work with someone who does or works with the content uh, for a living with, lots of experience. I think the students could really learn a lot from that, and I think being able to collaborate with an expert really, uh, I think it just would do wonders for a student's experience. I think they would get really excited, and it would make it feel more real to them. Um, and Another thing that was suggested to me that I took out was creating a space where the students could really, truly, and freely collaborate. So I decided to use a wiki uh, that allows for total freedom on collaboration from all the users, including the instructor. I think this Web 2.0 tool really enables, enhances, and nurtures the collaborative process and allows the students to contribute and construct new information. Um, so I'm going to be showing you a little bit about my wiki later on. So I developed a prototype, which is my wiki space, and I outlined a project that the students would engage in. Um, and I asked some of my colleagues that I work with, they're instructional designers, so they actually help instructors design courses for uh, online learning, and I gave them access to my wiki, and I told them to go in there and look around and provide them a survey so that they could provide me feedback later on that I could look at and take their suggestions, and if I were to really roll this out, take those suggestions to and make the edits and improvements to my wiki space and my ideas. So working with them also gave me the opportunity to work with an expert, since they are experts in the field, and although some of them do teach, um, it's been really great to test that idea, and I really enjoyed uh, their feedback, and it really helped my project feel relatable given the current position I'm in, not teaching. Um, so from my research, some of the points and concepts that stood out to me uh, were uh, one of them was it was really important to make sure that students understand the expectations of the online group environment. So really making sure uh, everything is clearly explained and that the students really do understand what all of the expectations are and why those expectations are important for the success of not only their learning but the group's project and the group's product, or whatever it is that they're working on. But the expectations really need to be clear and concise, and the students really need to understand their importance, the importance of the expectations on them, and for the process. I think really helps structure the environment so that everybody knows and they're on the same page. Roles within the groups must also be clearly defined so that no one is wondering what they should be doing or how they should be contributing. Um, I've also read that students find smaller groups to be more successful than working in larger groups in an online group collaboration process. I think they feel safer and they feel more motivated to contribute more when the groups are smaller than in larger groups. Teacher presence is important in the collaborative process, so even though that these types of projects are really student-centered and peer-centered and group-centered, that students really felt it's important for the instructors still to have presence and for them to be communicating with the students and giving feedback and moderating instruction, moderating discussions. Excuse me. Um, really helps to know. It really helps the student to know that the instructor is engaged and helps motivate the students. Um, Establishing milestones and a timeline, so making sure the expectations are clear for when things are due, adds structure and direction towards the project. It really helps students stay on task. Um, One of the things that I came across that I wasn't exactly considering when I first started this, but it was something that now, if I were to go further with this, I would explore more. But the idea of peer evaluation in an online group environment, um, I read a lot that gave some insight that students really like having that opportunity to uh, give their peers, their group members, an evaluation based on their performance, and having that as part of each individual's grade. Um, the problem always arises, and I'm sure it will always arise, that some members will not contribute as much as others, and they can be coined the term free riders or freeloaders, uh, and I think having a peer evaluation where the students can um, evaluate their peers and their group members' work helps keep everybody motivated and helps them to realize that their responsibility towards the group is really important, and it's a really important factor, and that it will be factored into their grade. Um, so it works for both ends. I think peer evaluation is something that needs to be really thought about in group work, and given the right situations, I think peer assessment and evaluation would be important to have in a group environment. Uh, a quote that I picked out that I really liked, it says, "Positive interdependence means that group members perceive that the collective effort of the group is essential in order for the individual learner to achieve their goals." And I thought this quote really drove home the importance of collaboration, uh, and the importance that we bring collaboration successfully and effectively to an online learning environment, since online learning does present a lot of challenges and a lot of setbacks that face-to-face classrooms don't necessarily face. And I think online collaboration, if done correctly, can really enhance the learner's experience online. Um, so I'm hoping through my research, experimentation, and sharing of my design thinking topic, it will help validate the reasons why collaborative group work in an online environment can work, and then it can work successfully. And there are tools such as the one I'm going to show you, like wikis, that enable the collaborative process and transform the learning into something real and beneficial to the student's learning and experience. So I'm going to be, the next part, I'm going to show you my wiki space and explain why I developed it the way I did and how it fits into my solution. So on to the next part.